A buddy and I went hunting over a long weekend a few years ago. We went to our campsite and stayed in a tent. This was in middle of nowhere in the Norwegian wilderness, and we had exclusive hunting rights to the area, so we didn't really expect any other people to be there. No cell service within something like a 5 to 6 kilometers radius, and something like 10 kilometers to our cars. We were camped next to a small lake, and didn't see any other people there for the first couple of days. On our last night, we were eating dinner next to our campfire, pretty late at night, so everything outside our immediate surroundings was pitch black. Suddenly, we heard someone take a shot on the other side of the lake, with what sounded like a rifle. We thought it was a bit strange, since there shouldn't have been any other hunters anywhere close by. But we just figured someone was fucking around further away. Then it sounded like we forgot about it and settled back in to eat. After another 5 to 10 minutes, someone took a second shot, which sounded like it came from much closer to us. This time the bullet hit some rocks right next to us, like 5 meters or so. We both sort of froze for a few seconds while looking at each other, and then just ran to our tent to pick up our shotguns. We then ran away into the woods and just stayed down. After a few minutes we heard another shot, and were pretty sure it hit our tent, which later turned out to be correct. We obviously had no idea of what to do. We couldn't call the cops since there was no cell service, and it was completely dark, so we couldn't really hike out of there without using flashlights, which seemed like a terrible idea. We ended up finding a down tree with a little cave-like thing under the roots, and just sat there until morning. We then packed up as quickly as possible and basically ran back to our cars, where we called the cops. The cops took it pretty seriously, it seemed like, but nothing ever came out of the investigation. Still have no idea what happened, or who could possibly have done it. There was absolutely no reason for anyone to be out there with a gun, unless they were poachers, which is almost unheard of in Norway. I've never been so scared in my life, and it definitely took a few years before we went back at all. Story 2. This next story took place a few years ago, when I was very younger. I remember me and my friend's family went hunting one day, and we were going to stay for a few days at the campsite. The first day was about to end, and we got ready to go to bed. And me and my friend stayed at the same tent, and in the night we would hear weird noises, but we just thought it was wild animals. The next day came, and it was a very fun day. And we went hiking up the mountains, and my friend told me he thought he had seen someone behind us, which was weird because no one was near our camp area. We got back to our campsite and had noticed things were not in places where we left them, and it looked like it. Someone was looking through your stuff while we were away. We just decided to stay the night, then leave first thing in the morning since it was late already. During the night we would hear weird things, and sounded like people were walking around our camp area. My friend's dad went outside with his gun, and started to fire in the air to scare them off, and it did work. The rest of the night was calm and safe. Morning came and we got packed and we left, and as we left we saw round a group of 10 guys just watching us leave.